Wake that ass up.
Early in the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, Jidenna.
Yeah.
Welcome
What's
back,
up, my
son.
brother?
What's up?
You know what's crazy? I added you one day on Instagram because there was a young lady up here lusting over you in a real way. Not her. You don't have to look at her. Not her. Not JayZ. She was lusting over you in a real way. Did she make googly eyes at you when you walked in? You didn't notice anybody?
Not who was it?
Okay. She walked in. I don't know where she went. I'll put Michaela on blast later.
Oh, she was standing
Shout
over
to
there by
Michaela.
him.
think
I
you
saw
just
that.
put
She
her
when
on
was,
blast.
right?
Yeah,
I saw her
she was
just
standing there.
lurking.
I was like, why is she pretending to drink coffee? She don't drink coffee.
Exactly.
Oh, that's who. Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
I know. Is she wearing the lavender? The
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
The one that was making you uncomfortable. I could tell. I could tell. There she goes, look, peeping. Look at her. Oh, my God. Guilty as sin. Holy shit. Oh, my God.
Morning,
Can she
Michaela.
be any more thirsty?
Why is she in the other studio?
I think people was done with the Bilbo Baggins, Colonel Sanders kind of fits. That's what they said.
I don't know what the hell you just said.
You know, no,
The
but I mean
old Jidenna, the classic man.
I like.
Oh!
A
I
classic
mean, for me, it was absurd and fly at the same time.
Gotcha.
You know, new album, new looks, but I don't know. I guess.
Do you feel like you got trapped in the classic man stereotype?
Yeah, definitely. For me, it was like, you know, it's a moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a one phase of the wardrobe, but it's not the only thing. So I had, you know, you evolve over time. Michael Jackson didn't stay in that, you know, I want to rock with you glittery sequin joint.
Yeah.
You still evolve. So
But you
it's the
seem
next
like
phase.
you went totally, well, I ain't gonna say totally left, but you totally different on this album. There's no classic man on this album.
Really?
I don't think
I think I always said it's more about character than the look. People got caught up in the look, and that's what I want to change. I'm trying to make sure people see the whole shades of a man, shades of an artist.
Well, you have changed because I seen them pop up little shows that you've been doing.
Oh,
when people
yeah.
come out, and I saw some little whining and grinding going on, and you
Yeah.
made some women's night.
Yo, the thing I love about the pop up is it's not Hollywood. It's not the typical lounge joint. I wanted to go back and connect just directly with the people, directly in the neighborhoods, and predominantly like ungentrified neighborhoods if we can, and push it. That's more important to me now than everything else. So we doing multiple cities. We going around the country with it.
You got a gym membership too, clearly. That's what got all these girls, that's what got all these girls going crazy.
Yeah, you got a trainer, one or the other.
24-hour fitness,
I don't
what
gotta
is it?
You know what it was? Like when I moved, so I moved to a few countries in Africa for 6 months. That's part of where I was.
Well, let's start with, you got kicked out of the house in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, we started at the top. So we didn't buy, we leased this Atlanta mansion. And we was like, all right, let's do an album here, live comfortably, you know, little fruits of the labor. We'll do this for a little while, put the album out, and then see what it was. We were paying the lease. Owner wasn't paying.
Landlord wasn't paying the way he was supposed to be paying. The mortgage company.
And
So he was pocketing the money.
It was
Yes.
whack because he was black and like,
Damn.
you know what I mean? Of all people, I hate when that happens. He didn't pay the mortgage. One day forecloses, goes up for auction. We didn't know. And we got blindsided in the crosshair. Police come knocking.
Did you get your stuff
and
out
it
at
was
least?
like, yeah, I mean, luckily the sheriff was cool. Like, they was like, yo, because we had a lot of things in the house, like mostly legal. And
Mostly legal.
Mostly? Oh, there's some weed, that's all.
And you know Georgia. You know, they
Guns.
got, yeah.
Yeah.
So that could have been a
Goodness
headline,
gracious,
though. They
Jidenna.
could have been like, classic man with the narcotics and ammunition. Like, I didn't want to go down like that, so I was out of there.
Them
quick.
headlines alone.
Yeah, that would have been terrible. So we was out. I had to go on tour, went on tour. Tour ends in Africa. I was supposed to go, I went from Ethiopia to Nigeria to South Africa. And after that, like, it was like a year and a half into Trump's presidency. We was like, I'm
Shit,
good.
I ain't
Like,
coming back.
well, I'm going to stay here because I don't want to go back there. And it was like some real rednecks that signed those papers for the house. Like, they threatened my DJ and co-producer, Nana Kwabena, the lead producer on the project, with a 45. Like, it was a whole thing.
Wow.
So I was like, you know what? We good. And we lived in South Africa predominantly for 6 months.
Trump will be proud of you. You went back to where you came from.
That's what I was saying. Yo,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
his whole thing, like, I grew, like, when I went to school, I remember the white kids in the school would be like, you should go back to Africa, just like he's pulling his little Trump card. Go back to Africa where you came from. I used to take offense to it then, but now
You was out.
I don't know if
I
I
don't
take
blame
offense
you.
anymore.
Word.
It's good advice.
What part of Africa?
So it was Nigeria, South Africa, but I ended up going to Mozambique, Namibia, Swaziland. I was smoking with like 21 princesses in Swaziland because they got this weed out there called Swazi Gold, and so they're known. They're like California of Africa. Like there's just crazy experiences that you have, you know. And so for me, I came back with a new type of power. And a lot of people before me, Chappelle did this, Kendrick Lamar before To Pimp a Butterfly. They take these expeditions and come back with that new, like, I feel like a global black empowerment.
Too, yeah.
So you never feel like a minority. I don't feel like none of us in this room are minorities anymore.
Right.
I feel like we the majority, we have the power, and the root is Africa always.
You
went
saw Steve
back,
Harvey was just in South Africa.
He was in
Yeah, I
Ghana.
saw him.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
he was in Ghana,
in
right?
Ghana.
He was in
Yeah,
Ghana,
yeah.
and he broke down crying.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
I went to Johannesburg last December.
Okay.
So this December I'm gonna go to Lagos, but I'm gonna also go to Ghana because I want to go to the door no
Bro,
return.
are you going December?
Yes.
Yes. All right. I'll see you there.
Word.
The door. No. So we went last year in December. I was part of Full Circle, which is Boris Kujoa and Bozoma's initiative. 100 of us went, and we went into the slave castles as a group of 100, actually 100 plus. So you can imagine we kind of feeling what enslaved peoples went through in these rooms. So it was one of the most powerful experiences of my life. And then what we did, like just by us being out there, we increased travelers to Ghana by 25,000.
Wow.
And each average traveler spends $3,000 US in the local economy. That's $75 million, which is 1.58% of the GDP of Ghana. So that's the influence you have. And for me, the most important thing, this is why I'm putting out this project, not just about this album, 85 to Africa, it's about everything. But this is a mission of my life, honestly. If we invest in Africa, invest in that continent, if Africa invest in the diaspora, we're going to change everything. Every hood is not going to work the way we're doing it now. My dad used to say this very basic physics lesson. He said, you can't inflate a balloon from inside the balloon. You must inflate it from outside. Who do you see puffing inside the balloon? It won't work. So the diaspora must take money from outside and put it in. And the continent must take money from inside and put it out. So that's the way I see it. It's a highway right now.
Black Americans are the missing piece, but they're also the missing piece to Black Americans.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, hands down. So I'll see you there December.
And this is the 400th year of American slavery.
Yeah, 1619, 400 years ago. Year of return. I don't know if you saw it. You probably did. So the president of Ghana just announced recently that if you're an African American, if you're a Caribbean American, or just from the diaspora, and go back to Ghana and trace your roots or whatnot, even if you just live there, you're gonna be granted voting rights.
In Ghana?
Yeah.
Wow.
Which is revolutionary.
Wow.
Like, you know, we got a lot of headlines that don't they not big enough font. Like, that's a big headline, which changes how I look at things. Like, if as a black person here, say we get another Trump, like I do think he's gonna win this year, but say we got another one and we already seen the game, we's like, all right, that means that you can be like, you know what, for the next 4 years, I'm out.
Or
And you can actually vote for policies that change things. You know what I'm saying? So it's a new, to me, we have to start thinking like citizens and immigrants at the same time. We have to think like anywhere there's black people, that's yours, especially black people, black Americans. When you feel landless, when you feel flagless, you could take it one way and be like, yo, we have no home, or you can be like, yo, everywhere is home.
Right?
That is two sides of the same
do
coin.
you feel out of place in America when you're so connected to the motherland? Like after staying
yeah.
there, do you feel out of place?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Like I honestly, New York is one of the few cities I feel at home at because it's so international. It feels like an island off the coast of America. It kind of is. But like everywhere I go, I don't. It's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's tough to feel like this place. Anytime I look at the flag, I can't rep it all the way. You know what I'm saying? I wish we had our own. To me, the red, black, and green flag with the U.S. Stars and stripes,
Word.
that's probably the closest flag. But we have to like adopt it all the way. So then if that flag was up, I'd be like, all right, cool, that's me.
So how much of this album was inspired by your trip? Did you write it while you were back in Africa?
Yeah, I did the majority of it there. I started it in Atlanta. I went to the different countries that I just said in Africa. I came back and finished it between Brooklyn and LA. So the whole thing. So what it is like it's a highway across the Atlantic Ocean, and it's road trip music. So if you took a road trip literally across the Atlantic, you would start with hip hop. You probably start with trap. You might move to the soul and R&B, and then you're gonna land with Afro beats. And somewhere along the road trip, you might smoke a little something and want some Jimi Hendrix inspired shit. So I had that too.
Did the label think you was tripping? Like, oh, this nigga done moved back to Africa. He bugging out on us.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure. I wasn't talking to them at the time, but you know, I think they happy now because now, like, you know, it's a lot cooler to rep Africa as black people here, as Africans from the continent. So I think now they seeing what I was doing.
I mean, the music exploded.
Yeah, so when I was doing a little bit more, like in 2016, that was, and I'm speaking pidgin, like pidgin English, Nigerian pidgin, like on that record. And that's going around New York City. They didn't necessarily know. Sylvia Rhone did know, I tell her credit. But I think now it's much more inviting.
Now, you said you weren't talking to them. Why weren't you talking to them?
Oh, I was getting my peace of mind.
Okay.
Like, I was good.
There was no beef. You just was.
No beef at all. It's just like I'm good. I'm enjoying myself. I didn't really talk to many people.
And what happens to the mortgage when you spend all that money with somebody else? Are you still on the hook for that money?
Me? No, it's not on me.
You don't have to pay a mortgage. He's paying
Yeah,
rent.
it's not me. So
Okay.
I'm good.
Right,
Yeah.
he defaulted on his mortgage.
Landlord was just pocketing that.
Now let me ask
Yeah.
you this: do women ever get too touchy-feely with you? Because I'm watching all
Wait
of these.
till he walk out here and Michaela jump on his ass. He don't know what touchy-feely
I'm
is.
watching all of these pop-ups and I'm seeing it, but are there times when you go places and it's a little too familiar?
Yeah, when you go through the crowd, like women do a lot of things that I'm sure they wouldn't be like done to them or that have been done. So yeah, it happens, but I mean I'm good with it. I don't. It is what it is. There's a lot of grabbing.
Right.
There's a lot of groping, but it is what it is.
What made you get the tribal tats?
So it goes from my chest to my arm. There was somebody who said to me, he was like, it was a white dude. He was like, you know, you guys would be so much better off if you just wrote down your history, and you guys just didn't have a language. So I was like, you know, being the historian I try to be, a history buff, I looked up writing systems beyond hieroglyphics, and I found one called Nsibidi, which was from southeastern Nigeria, and that was from 2000 BC, between that and 5000 BC. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna tattoo that on my body, so nobody could ever say that to us again. So my chest has Nsibidi on it. My arm, there's a bunch of symbols that are from modern day Nigeria, but I combined that with Polynesian tattoo because I used to live in East Palo Alto, California when I went to school, and it's the largest Polynesian community on the mainland of the U.S. So I was influenced by them. So I combined the two, and they just got dope line work. You know what I mean, in terms of the craft. So that's why I started it.
I just feel so ignorant right now because when I think Polynesian, I think Chick-fil-A. I swear. So I just
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, Chick-fil-A, so the Polynesian sauce.
You ever had Polynesian sauce from
that's
Chick-fil-A?
why.
I feel ignorant.
That's
as
why.
fuck.
Nah.
It's a people?
Tongans, Samoans,
Yeah.
Hawaiians. That's the whole world,
I gotta Google that.
Now, we really mad that you didn't make the cut for Lion King?
bruh. I don't know why.
He sounded mad just now.
Changed, bro.
I don't know why that happened. Like, to me, Scar, that's Scar's spirit. Scar was a pimp.
Scar was a fuck nigga.
He was. But if you're gonna play fuck nigga, you gotta go all the way with it. So I thought I was going all the way. Disney got all these phallic symbols in the clouds and shit. I thought it was gonna be okay. And yeah, I got a quick no. You know, usually you wait.
You really tried? I thought you were joking.
Usually you wait and the email comes like, you know, a couple. We're still still deliberating. We got
Nah.
nah.
I don't even know who played Scar. Who played Scar?
I don't know whose voice was Scar.
Did you
I didn't
watch
like
I
it?
actually didn't see the movie.
Did you go watch
yet.
it? That's what I was
No.
gonna say.
No,
I haven't
didn't.
seen it myself.
I didn't
so.
like it.
No, I haven't seen it. I got an issue with the live action thing.
Yeah,
I haven't. I don't feel like we quite got there. It's like plastic surgery. We're not all the way there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Did you like the album?
the album was
Album's
cool.
fire.
Yeah, I loved it. Like Beyonce, I know she was a fan of Afro beats, and Afrobeat like fell out of music. She had a hidden album I heard like 6 years ago, and she didn't think America was ready for it. So she's a legit like follower and student of Afro beats and the different waves in Africa. So
said
for
there's a
her to
hidden
do
Beyonce
that,
album somewhere?
I heard. I don't know this. I can't confirm, but like I heard 6
rumor
years
has
ago
it.
she did it. Yeah, yeah.
Somebody told me that the Lion King soundtrack isn't Afro beats though.
I don't think
Some
that's.
Africans told me that. It was like, it's not necessarily.
No,
Afro
I wouldn't say that. This song's like "Don't Jealous Me." That's Afro beats. There's a lot of different genres. Like US is just we blanket it like Afro beats. When you go to London, everybody's like Afro bashment, Afro wave, Afro fusion. You know what I mean, Burner will talk about that. They're a lot more involved with it now. There's also like South African genres on the project. I think the people that have the most issue with it is East Africans. Because Lion King, that whole world is based on East Africa, so they felt underrepresented on the project.
What's the message in telling your story with Tribe? Like, what's the story you're trying to convey?
You know, the story is this: we are ironic human beings. We live in a paradox where we are tribal, and we need that me and mine to survive. But we also know there's only one tribe, which is humanity. It's just like black people. You could be from LA, you can be from the East Coast. Look at like the 90s beef. It was very tribal. Now look at us, where East Coast, West Coast, ain't even a thing. That's how we live. So that's the idea behind tribe. It's like on one hand, we are one tribe. On the other hand, nah, it's just my tribe. I mean, you see the whole thing with like what's going on with Jay and Kaepernick right now.
It's disgusting.
That's literally tribalism at its finest.
I hate it.
That we can't hold two thoughts at the same time. Like I'll put it like this: in every city, there's a mayor, there's a priest, and there's a don. And the don moves the money around. The mayor is the one with the social capital and will permit the don to move that money. And the priest makes both the mayor and the don feel good about themselves. You can't, when a mayor moves and a don moves and a priest moves, the moves ain't gonna be the same. The code of ethics is different between those three people. So I see the situation as that. Kaepernick has every right to move the way he moved and to continue to move. And he has a right to feel some kind of way about it. And Nessa as well. JayZ can also move his own way. He has a right to move and to feel like, yo, I've represented y'all as a don and mayor in a way. For you've seen me over my career. I told you about it. Trust me.
Word.
Trust me. These are two thoughts, and I get why people can feel a certain way. And it's all right. That's okay. It's okay to feel it. What's not okay is to just cancel or to say, oh, you a Trump supporter now. Or, oh, you know, I'm not a Trump supporter. You a little protester that ain't doing shit. Like, that's not where we at. We can't let this situation divide us. This is not the time for that.
But it is okay to question people's motives.
Absolutely.
And
No,
moves.
it's not.
I say question and
Yes,
hold
you
people
can.
accountable, but I think you have to look at the habits of a person. Do I trust Kaepernick and Nessa's intention and their methods? Yes.
Yes.
Do I trust JayZ's intentions and methods? Yes.
Yes. No, and he's right. It is okay to question, but we're not questioning. They're saying, oh, Jay just did it for the money. How the fuck you know what's in his head and in that man's heart?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
And
I
I
don't
think-
believe that. There's a lot of other ways to make money.
Yes. And like as if he needs it.
Jay's a billionaire.
Yeah, I think that there's different ways. You know what I mean? But I do think that there's certain things that went down that are making people feel like that's why they're questioning. Like if it's true that Jay didn't reach out to Kaepernick about this, that's something that
But if
that's
it's
what
a
I thought was
secret,
shaky,
but if it
though.
is a secret deal that you're doing that
Yeah,
has
if you-
maybe
exactly,
an
NDA,
maybe
word
you
up.
can't reach out to
He
somebody.
I think he could if that was he didn't reach out to him when he was doing this, especially since Cap has been on the front line of things. I think that
But
was
on
a
the flip
conversation I should have
side,
had.
Cap signed a deal with the NFL. He did he got his labor dispute, and he had to sign a confidentiality agreement where he couldn't talk about the terms of his deal.
Yeah, I like I'm saying, I understand it. I
I
don't.
thought he didn't have a choice because the Players Association, you're not allowed to sue. So the only way he could get something, or the only way you could settle a dispute was that way.
Would you give away your right to that? If
I
he
think
was in the
anybody
position
that
he was
joins the
in?
NFL because of that.
No, I'm saying, but if you were in the position that he's in, where he was taking a knee for social injustice, wouldn't your story be the most powerful thing you could tell?
Yeah, the story.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Wouldn't give that
mean,
away.
and I also don't think either of them are pawns. I don't think Kaepernick's a pawn for taking, doing a deal. He has back pay he's owed. That's actually the opposite of pawn. You'd be a pawn if you didn't take that. And the pawn is an underrated. I was just playing chess out there. Oh, look at them kids playing chess. Like when the most unsung, but one of the most powerful pieces on the board is the pawn. It's the one that gets to the end of the board and it can become anything it wants. A king or a queen, a bishop, anything. It take over people. So we got to stop thinking like.
And it protects the pieces too.
Absolutely. And so they're moving all left and right, and we can't just telegraph everything we doing. Like we be like so. Like in this country, they've taken our language and our slang. So slang used to be the way that we would speak in code. We can't speak in code. So everything's like blah blah, and everyone knows what we're doing. So I think that I understand how people are feeling. My hope is that we can come to some middle ground here and stop being divided and stop canceling. This is a world of growth.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's where we at.
And you can have two different courses of action as long as you got the same goal.
Oh, I saw you said that, and I 100% agree to that.
I like what you had to say when XXX and Tasha Yon died too, because I always say this generation would have never let Malcolm Little become Malcolm X, and you said something sort of along the same vein.
Did you like it? I saw you say something that I thought you didn't like it.
What did I say?
Fuck that quote.
No,
I
agree.
I thought you did. I thought you. That's why I was like, man. Somebody was like,
Sometimes he doesn't
showed this little clip, and I was like, what?
No.
I thought he would. I was like, this is what Charlamagne stands for.
I've always.
All right, that's what I mean.
I've always said that this generation would never let Malcolm Little become Malcolm X.
It wouldn't. Oh yeah, it's in your book.
Yes.
That's what it is. Somebody flipped and was like, nah, yo, hands down, that's what it is. We like it, for people to be mad about it, I get it. Twitter ain't the place for nuance.
Nope.
My mistake is not what I said. Is that I'm coming on Twitter trying to say something that's going to take more than 140 characters.
Correct.
I don't condone behavior of X. I don't condone the behavior of a lot of people. But I do think that people can learn and get better over time. I did. If you would have heard the language that I used when I was 14 years old, if you hear some songs like that I put, like, you'd be like, yo, this dude's misogynist, he's homophobic.
Absolutely.
There wouldn't be no classic, man. You'd be like, this dude he's terrible.
I'm a
That's
transphobic, man.
We were talking about Iggy Azalea. Iggy Azalea did an interview where she talked about she hates some of her old music now that she listens to it. And there's some songs that she wish she would never have to hear again. Do you feel that way? Because I would think every
I
artist.
feel that way about Iggy's music.
Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Do
I'm
I
talking
feel?
about your music.
Oh, okay,
Now,
right.
Like you just said, back into your earlier music, when you look back at that, are you like, man, what was I thinking?
No, I mean, you know, there's the whole. I'm cool with it. Like, I accept it. That's where I was at. It's actually a good marker. Like, how do you know progress if you can't mark it?
That's right.
I'm way. Yeah, cool. I evolved. Good. There's a lot of people in this industry that feel that way. So I'm cool with it. I don't have no regrets on songs I made, or even really things I said. To be honest.
Now, what about Iggy's music? I'm just joking.
You know, all the stories that I love of people are the stories of growth and evolution.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I love the autobiography of Malcolm X. That's even why I love JayZ's story.
Yeah.
We saw what these people were and what they became. That's why I love the Nation of Islam so much, because it's all about growth. Why do we hold people accountable for the way they were so much?
It goes back to that tribalism shit. Like, we in a time where we think it's 2019, right? We think we so evolved, so modern, and we still stoning witches. Like, we still doing the same thing. Like, you can't take it away. We have Instagram, wow, the internet, and we still, the things that get the most likes are things like sex and food and animals, and we are still animal. I believe a human being is an angel animal.
Explain.
Well, you got both sides. That's why in religion, when I'm a spiritual person, but I can never adopt one religion because the idea of purging your darkness don't make sense to me. And I think for black and brown people, it's never gonna make sense because that was not our religion. Our religions were more yin and yang, more like the Eastern religions. So you can't purge the animal in you. You gotta manage it.
Yeah.
You gotta know it. You gotta know your darkness. I know where my darkness lives. And I'm way better at managing it now. But as soon as you try to purge it, it's going to take you like the undercurrent in the ocean. You're going to drown.
What about your treatment of women? How have you evolved with that?
Oh, yeah. I mean.
Like, what did you used to be like and what are you like now?
Man, what I used to be like, the things I used to interrupt women way more. I used to, the way I was socialized to catcall on the street or in the mall.
How does Jidenna catcall? Well, that's the old Jidenna, so it don't matter.
Yeah, you don't even know.
Yeah.
You ain't all that, bitch.
Yeah, I mean, like, I, as a kid, I was like a lot of the other boys. What do you mean? Like, the parties we had, what we was doing, it's not like, that's why anything that comes up in the news, like, you know, I heard with you, like, everybody I've heard, I'm like, yo, to when men nowadays be like, man, yeah, I didn't do that, I wouldn't do that. I'm like, shut the fuck up. You were doing that. You were. That's what we did.
That's how we were raised in the 90s.
That's how you were
in the
raised.
90s. Snoop Dogg said, bitches ain't shit, but hoes and tricks get on the knees and suck the dick.
Yeah.
I was listening to Slob on my knob this morning.
Yeah, I didn't know, because we weren't with the what a man was it still is confusing. So now, like, after years of I've read certain books, Bell Hooks books. I've read this book, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover, that I recommend, that allows you to understand, like, a king is not always a tyrant. I'm way better at just listening, period. To me, that's how I've evolved. It's mainly, I think that, in Long Live the Chief, I say lead, follow, or get the fuck out the way. For men right now, in terms of women, a lot of it is either follow or get the fuck out the way. You don't need to lead, you don't need to teach, you need to listen, and you need to get out of ways, which means you're blocking a way of access. Like, a king looks at his ground as fertile, which is a word that's usually associated with women. But if you understand it as power, that when it's a fertile ground, people can grow, then that's when you're truly a king. But when we're boys, my dad was a tyrant. I grew up in a verbally and ultimately physically abusive home. My neighbor got beat by her pimp boyfriend every single day. She was laid out, heroin addict on our front porch all the time. That was the environment. That's how I got into music.
So it was normalized to you.
It was normal. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I knew it was wrong as a boy, but you don't know what to do. I escaped by putting headphones on so I didn't have to listen to my parents arguing. So that's how I got here. So to me, like, it takes, I can't judge somebody so harshly when they don't go the route that I did. I know it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of reading. It's going to take a lot of work. My hope is that we can get to a new place as men that understand that our masculinity is not being threatened right now. It's actually being strengthened by women being empowered. It's just like with white people, you feel threatened because you see other groups of color being empowered, but no, we are now contributing more to society because you've gotten out the way a little bit. You're not losing power. We're going to have a better world because of it. That's how I see it.
Yeah, and you're not going to learn if you don't listen. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a lot of things, especially as men, we thought was normal. And it was nothing to us, but then you realize later, like, oh, no, the woman felt threatened. She was feeling uncomfortable. And you're like, oh, but you can't sit here and say, that's just me being a man. No, nigga, you got to shut up and listen.
But it was normal, too, because that's how we were raised. Like, if you look at the music, you look at the movies.
Slob on my knob.
Like, that's how we were raised, you know what I mean? But then you got to realize, like, well, that was wrong.
Yeah, it was.
Now, women love you. Just got a text from Michaela. She said,
let me see.
Ask him if he's single, but it's not coming from me.
Oh yeah. Lord. Sure.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, you know what it is? Yes, I am single.
Okay.
And I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to figure out how to date in this game. I don't get it.
What does that
mean? I don't understand. He said, what is dating?
What do you mean?
You don't date. You just fuck groupies.
No, you're married.
Oh, yeah. I mean, oh, wow. Yeah. Well,
so go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, so I was talking to a few people, but I was actually talking to Nessa and Kaepernick about it. Like, I don't know how to do it. I'm not a groupie person. I don't enjoy that. I wish I did. It'd be a lot easier.
Anymore, or you just never was?
Never was.
Okay.
Never was. I didn't trust it. I got too much to accomplish in this lifetime.
But I'm sure there's people that can hook you up with somebody nice and go on some dates.
What, the reference thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it ain't happened.
When's the last time you've been on a date?
I kind of did a makeshift one like a couple of days ago.
What's a makeshift one?
A pop-up?
Yeah.
A pop-up date?
A pop-up after the pop-up. Yeah, it was quick. The tough part is the time thing, right? So like if you're looking for connection, you don't have a lot of time to build that, like in this game. That's what I don't get. You know what I mean? I'm not enjoying. I don't think I'm enjoying as much of the fruits of the labor as I should be to be 100%.
And you can't trust people.
Yeah,
you are
and
Jidenna.
I had trust issues for a long time. Period. Before any of this. So let alone post 2015, 2016. So I'm looking for mentorship in this. So I can't. Y'all, you know,
I've been
y'all
with the same
got the
girl
rings
for 22
on.
years.
Yeah, see, I'm like that. It's just like once I broke up with certain women, it was a wrap for me. So now the other thing I explore is polyamory. See if that works.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I'm with it. I actually believe that there's, you know, my brother always says there's a deal for everything. And polyamory to me is the agreement of honesty first and foremost. And the first thing you gotta be honest about is like most human beings, like most, don't want to stay fucking the same person their whole life.
True. You keep that devil to yourself. I'm not out here spreading those evil lies.
I'll let you keep talking, though. I'm listening.
The second thing is that not only that, most people are not gonna just have connection with the same person their whole life. But see, you know, this is the monogamy
25
talking.
years, 25 years, 22.
Congratulations.
I'm not
I think that y'all in the minority in those terms.
Well, I was a notorious cheater now. I'm not going to sit there and tell you no lie.
We fucked up, though.
Yeah, I was
don't
a
get it
whore.
twisted. We fucked up.
So anyway, Jidenna, let me ask you this. So when you say polyamory, it's okay for the women to be with other men also?
Absolutely. I've been in that relationship. I've done that.
What do you mean?
I've been in a relationship.
Yep. You was cool with it?
Yep. Was I cool? It was one of the most difficult things I ever had. This tattoo took 26 hours. I did it in like one sitting, essentially. The pain that I felt knowing that she was with another man is one of the worst pains I felt in my life.
How old were you when this was happening?
This is a few years ago.
You got to explain, brother. I haven't heard this side
I
of the
had
game,
to do that because what kind of man am I to tell a woman that you can't be with somebody else when I'm out here being with somebody else?
A man.
Nah,
a real
not
nigga.
at all.
So
I'm a boy. That's a real man.
Tuesday, she with you. Wednesday,
Throw
she
some
with somebody
balls
else.
on it. Huh? You said what?
Monday, she with somebody else. Tuesday, she with you. Wednesday, possibly somebody else.
And what about, and he's
I
with
knew-
somebody
I
else
knew the
also?
people. Yeah, and I
You
was
knew the
too.
people?
Yeah.
Nigga, what?
You ain't really light skinned, boy, because I'd have cried in the corner, man. How'd you do it?
I'm sure she
How'd
felt
I
the way
do it?
too when you're with other women.
Yeah,
I'm sure
I
she
have
felt
to
that
know.
pain.
I have to know.
So you knew the dude? Y'all were cool?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I had to know. It wasn't like we like buddy, like this is my best friend. It's just that I knew of him.
So he can call you and be like, I'm sending her back home? Like she's coming back home? Open the door?
He could if he wanted. That's not how it went down, but yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Now-
and I've been with women who are with other women, which is a lot easier to stomach. But still, some men flip out about that. Like to me, I don't control. I'm not empowered. Like I'm not holding on to the woman like that.
Right.
Like I don't control her destiny. You know what I'm saying? So if I want something, like it's gotta be some balance. So to go through that allowed me to understand what it is. And that's why I'm saying I can do it. Like I've gone to lengths. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing with this Polynesian relationship, Polynesian sauce.
Polyamorous.
Polyamorous.
My
It would be
goodness.
different if you and the guy were both this woman's man. Just the fact that you just letting another guy smash your
But
chick,
they
but then
was.
you're giving her all the
No,
emotional
it wasn't
and
just
spiritual.
smashing. The
That
thing
was a
about
man.
polyamory is not like it's not swinging most of the time. It's actually like there's a connection.
So y'all in a relationship.
I guess you could say that totally, but it's like I didn't have a relationship with him. Like we weren't friends. It wasn't nothing like that. It's that she has her relationship. It's like a constellation. You know what I'm saying?
Well, who's the Big Dipper? Because that's what I would want to know. If this is a constellation, I need to know.
Think about the Milky Way.
Thing is,
crazy.
we actually got closer because of that. Our bond was stronger because of that.
So where'd she go Valentine's? Where'd she go Christmas?
Oh no! If I'm the main partner, it's with me.
She was able to dibble and dabble in other things.
Yeah, to me I don't think that's again, like that's like I said, it's one of the most difficult. I've
Would
had
you
a
do
lot
that
of
again?
things.
Would you do
The
it again?
tattoo, I've been shot before. That pain I felt was like the worst thing.
Yeah, that sounds like a Tribe Called Stress, my brother. Like I don't even want that. I don't think I
do
would
it
want
again?
that in my life.
Yeah, I would.
Really?
I would because it's not. Honestly, you get over it. You're like all pain. It goes away after a time. The jealousy.
So you don't think about him smashing her like, damn, is he putting it down better than me? Is he eating it better than me? None of that?
You think about all that.
Did you ask those questions?
I thought about it. I didn't want to know. Some people want to know all the answers. I don't like that. I was like, you know what? They're going to have their relationship. I'm gonna have mine.
When my
Could she
woman cheated on
answer-
me, I definitely asked. I needed to know.
Yeah.
Is he bigger? Is he better? I needed
Could
to know.
she answer the phone for him if you guys were together?
Could she? Yeah, sure. I don't. It didn't go down like that. She
Right.
kind of had her own separate relationship, and it's all good. But could she answer the phone?
Like you're sitting right there and she's like,
I'm not-
1 second, Jidenna. Hey, baby.
Honestly, like I got to a point where I wouldn't be tripping. Yeah, it's like it is what it is.
Calling my wife
You-
right
yeah,
now.
I'll-
Nigga, what's up? You good? Just making sure.
You know, because the more
You
you
okay?
suppress things.
You all right?
You know what I mean?
crazy.
The more you suppress it, the harder it is, and it
call me
wears and tears, and you guys have arguments for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
I'll
mean,
call back.
like I'm glad no arguments happening right now.
That's crazy.
Let me talk.
Oh,
don't know-
he's
I don't know how you did
legit.
I will. All right.
I love you.
I don't.
I love you.
That's
She's
right.
like, okay, you could talk again. I hung up.
That's so funny.
Have you ever checked to see if Game is a part of your tribe?
We did a DNA test, and he definitely is.
Really?
Yeah.
From
He
the
definitely
same.
is. The same. No, we should actually do that.
I
Oh,
thought
we
you
should
did.
do that for real, and have like his results. I bet you we are.
I got a TV show. Well, I'm gonna talk to you after the thing.
Okay.
That's
We
crazy.
can do that for real.
Well, the album comes out August 23rd. Do you talk
He's
about this on the
blown
album?
away.
I'm just curious.
He's
Do you
blown
talk,
away.
you talk about this on the album?
Nah, I did it last album a little. I hinted at it. In Bambi, I talk about like, I talk about it honestly. Like my grandfather had 7 wives.
Wow.
Let me just put this in context. It don't come from nowhere. I remember I never met him. He's from a village in southeast Nigeria. I seen a picture with him, and he was sitting there like on his little stool, and there was 3 of the 7 wives. You know, one of which was my father's mother. And I remember the look on their faces, and they were not happy. You know what I'm saying? I looked deep in their eyes. They was not happy. So I was like, you know what? I can't do the polygamy thing. I gotta go where no man has ever gone before. I gotta take that step. So that was my impetus for that, because I seen my grandfather.
Now, we just talked about assuming what people feel now. We don't know what those women in that picture was feeling. You're just making up stuff right now based off your insecurities.
Ask any woman who's been in a polygamous relationship. I guarantee they didn't enjoy it. Ask any woman who's been cheated on. They didn't enjoy it. So to me, and I'm not perfect, but these are the steps I feel like we have to take as men. I don't. It's not easy. It's not for the weak. But women have been doing that for thousands of years. And we still here in 2019 and can't deal with it. If they do one little thing that we've done. One. Most of us have multiple.
Right.
I don't want you to talk no more, Jidenna. Cut his mic off, please.
You guys are shocked about the women, but not about him.
What is he talking
What if
about?
girls shoot you? Well, how'd you get shot?
No, I got shot as a child when I was 6. My family unfortunately went through a robbery, kidnapping. Women were assaulted, and you know when in most robberies, when the robber wants to say, hey, I mean business, they shoot up.
Right.
They shot down, and that's where I was.
Holy cow.
So they caught me in my foot. Luckily, we escaped. They went to go rob somebody else.
This
It
was
was
in
on a
Africa?
highway. This is in Nigeria.
Nigeria.
And for the record, I want to paint Nigeria like this is what happens. It's like painting the U.S. based on mass shootings. Like,
Right.
y'all know, like it happens,
Yeah.
but that's not it.
They're
Like, that's
isolated
not-
incidents.
It's like scamming in Nigeria.
It happens. It happens. And the reason why Nigerians are known for scamming is not because we're bad people. It's because we smarter than a lot of people. So like as criminals, we gonna be top athletes. We gonna be the best at so we gonna be best at hacking. That is what it is. It's okay.
Do you ever scam before?
Yeah, you think he's
He
going
starts speaking pigeon all of a sudden.
No, I didn't scam now. I mean, I've done some things.
All right.
You know
Just
what I
asking,
mean?
just
I
curious.
used to sell chains in Chinatown.
No, for real?
Yeah. Canal Street, and I go take it to downtown Crossing in Boston. I get it for cheap. I know all, like, in the hood, I know all the latest jewelry. And then I would get the cheap ones in Chinatown and sell it to white boys in the suburbs. That was a scam.
You ever dated a fat white woman for room and board?
Wow.
90 Day Fiance. He's
Wow.
talking about.
Never. Never.
My goodness. All right,
Jidenna's a
Jidenna.
very interesting person. I don't think you tell your story enough, Jidenna. I think you need to do a documentary or something.
Yeah, I wanna do like an animated doc. I love animation right now. I may do that. But yeah, I mean, I'm telling it here.
Well, introduce your record, man. Let's get into your record. That's what we here for, the music.
Oh, right.
Tribe or Sufi Woman? Which one?
Which one you want?
Tribe.
What's up, y'all? This is Jidenna, and this is the brand new record, Tribe, off 85 to Africa.
All right, well, we appreciate you for joining us. It's Jidenna. It's The Breakfast Club. Good morning.